Hello, hello. You are watching this stuff because you were searching on YouTube for sleep paralysis, for alien abductions, and other type of sleep attacks or attacks during the sleep, entities attacks during the sleep. So, of course, you can dig the YouTube and find all sort of explanations, but I'll give you one. Is the best explanation you can find in the whole world. Yes, who are you? You're a piece of information, a very complicated piece of information that is able to create own reality. It's like being an AI of some sort in residing into a system like a hardware, like a computing system that can create own realities and can connect with other systems, other computers, or other humans who have their own reality, and their reality and your reality when together uh, result into a combined reality. So their reality can affect your reality. So let's say someone else's emotions and action can affect your reality, the way you perceive the world. And I'll give you, without going into some philosophical talk, I will give you the most common phenomena about sleep attacks or attacks during the sleeps. During the sleep, uh, I won't talk about entities attacks. So those are also real demonic attacks during the sleep when they cause you have nightmares and all sort of weird sleeps, and sometimes they give you visions. But those are different topic, and I might record something later. But for now, I'll talk about what I know and what I believe I know based on my research with many months of studying this phenomena. Long time ago, I think I was a teenager or was a kid or something like that. I had sleep paralysis or something like that, and I know I was kind of locked in the bed. I could not move much, and I knew it was like I'm kind of awake, but I was like paralyzed, and it's not pleasant. And good thing that at the time my reality was very basic stuff, like made out of basic life experiences. It was not very complex like for adults when they have lots of memories, and the memories also affect the way they perceive the world. Uh, I used to live in a mountain area in the countryside, and was not much going on, and because of that I had limited ways of perceiving the world. Even like walking 7 kilometers to the next town was like a big long trip. Now it's like it's nothing. 7 kilometers, you can do it quickly, or you can take the car and you drive in 2 minutes. You drove 7 kilometers. Um, so also time flies at different speed in your mind. So on the clock and the mechanical systems or electronic systems, time flows the same rate, the same pace. But in our minds, it flows at different pace, and so reality it changes with the age, with life experiences, with friends experiences, and lots of other variables. So it depends how much you watch Netflix. Also, it's affecting your reality. How much you watch YouTube, what content you watch on YouTube. Everything is affecting the way you feel and you connect with others. So, and now back to sleep paralysis. We'll give you kind of basics. In the brain, there are mechanisms that can construct dreams. Also in the brain, other parts of the brain deal with the five senses, the processing the data from the five senses and fabricating reality. So different parts of the brain do specialized functions, and they are divided for different roles. So each center is very specialized and very powerful in that specific function. And when they connected together, they help you live a life and experience life. If you look at the brain, the way it works during the sleep, the scientists realize that during the different times of the sleep, people switch between reality, or a slow switching between reality and sleep. And some people, the switch is not, the transition is smooth and takes a while. And while in that transition, people can experience reality. It's like being half asleep, half awake, while the body is also going through a transition from being able to move, being able to act, the brain thoughts and thinking process, and motor commands from the brain to the muscles, uh, to the immobile state when the body is not able to move with a will of the brain. So the brain can send commands only to prevent the blood to get stuck into certain area of the body. So those are involuntary movements of the body, just as a protection mechanism to prevent the body and skin injury, um, by having the blood stagnating into some area. So those are involuntary movements. Is not willpower on those, but during this paralyzed state, uh, when the person is awake, mind awake, and is able to think and perceive the reality from the five senses, it can feel, can smell, can see stuff. If the body went into this paralyzed state, the body cannot move. So what happens? The person, if he's not aware, let's say if the person doesn't have experience dealing with that state, the person might feel frightened by feeling into some sort of a prison, feeling captive, not being able to move. So it's not a pleasant experience. It's like you feel like you cannot use your body, you cannot control your body, you cannot use your body, you cannot get off the bed, go to drink water, go to washroom and stuff like that. So it's very unpleasant, and of course it takes a while until the body gets out of that state. And now for some people there is a transition between being awake and being asleep, and during that transition the person start fabricating a mix of real stuff and dream stuff. So it's a mixed reality made of real stuff that coming from the five senses, and the made up reality, which is the dream. And what happens during that kind of a half awake, half asleep state, the person might start dreaming something very common in these people, uh, generally something that is related to what the person fears the most. And for some people are aliens, for some people are shadowy figures, for some people are violent men attacking them. And what happens is the person realize that is paralyzed, cannot defend themselves, because in their mind, in their temporary reality, they use the five senses memory as a database. So we have memories about our senses. So you can remember a smell, you can recreate a smell, like now I feel like potatoes. Yeah, so you have memory of your senses, and you have databases with different information from each sense. So you can think of images that come from your eyes. You can hear, you can think of sounds. You know how the train sound, and so you, in the dream, into the half state dream, you access the database that contain this sensory information, the memories of each sense. So you don't have to access everything. You don't need to access the, let's say, the smell, but you have access. The brain has access to those memories. And now, while into this prison state, the paralyzed state, the person accesses the information. So he's kind of is able to create a reality based on the memories, the memory of those five senses. And because the person is awake, half awake, the person senses, it feels like the information is real, and the person knows that he's awake or she's awake. If the person is asleep, sometimes depends of the sleep. Sometimes in the sleep you think, oh, it's so real. I think and you think while you sleep and while you dream, you think this is real. You can have an experience, a dream, and in the dream you think it's real, but actually it's a dream. And the same thing happens when you are half awake, half asleep. You can think it's a dream, but because you are awake and you are aware that you are awake, that half dream might appear as a real. And now the memory of the brain is accessing the memory of the five senses, and like I said, it can create a fake dream that makes you think it's very real. So you can feel it's like someone is touching you, and when the half dream or the dream of this entity it starts um, appearing in your mind as a, let's say, an entity that's coming to you, the brain uses the database of your memory, of your sensors, and attaches to this entity of the dream. So you use it, you use the real life memories of your five senses and attach to the dream state, to the dream characters. So the dream characters appears very real to you. So you think I see it with my open eyes, but actually you are half awake, half asleep. And the brain does not realize what is going on. I mean, the conscious mind, the thinking mind, does not realize what is being fabricated by another part of the brain. I cannot tell you which part of the brain because I'm not a brain expert or scientist or something like that. I just know these things because I am able to think from the perspective of the person who describe this stuff. And because, like I said, I lived these experiences when I was very young, and I know what sleep paralysis mean, and I know what means lucid dreaming is. And now when these people describe to me, because they came to me for helping with this, so I send them energy, and the energy seems that it works. Like one person stopped having this type of nightmares, and I didn't know why it does help. So then I figured out why. And but that's the explanation. Your thinking brain cannot think at the time why this thing happens. It cannot think, okay, I'm awake, I'm asleep, because the brain is half asleep when the dream side of the brain, like the dream creating side of the brain, is taking over, creating these characters. So what happens? This character is trying to do stuff. It's just a character created by the brain, and sometimes it's very unpleasant. Is depends of the person. So people are suffering of depression, people are suffering of panic attacks and anxiety. Those things, they have higher chance of getting dreams, this type of dreams with aggressive characters. And the aggressive character comes, and this person now is kind of getting in panic mode, because generally this character in the dream has no face. Rarely this entity has a face. So since it's faceless, it's scarier. If you know someone's face, then you know you have control, because you can guess their intention by looking at the face. That's the brain that works. So you look at people angry, happy, sad. So you can guess, you can expect how to deal with this person in front of you based on the face and physiognomy. And of course, if you see a weapon in their hand, then also you know what to expect, you know how to prepare. But based on the face, so if the person has no weapons, nothing, just like that, based on the face, you know what to expect. But if it's faceless, no face, is kind of a confusing. What was this entity or person intention? And if it's usually a shadowy figure, it's even scarier. And now the person who's paralyzed is um, getting into the anxiety. Then it turns into fear. Why? Because it starts thinking, okay, I don't know what this thing is doing. Is this man is coming? You see, is a man, and you have no idea what's the intention. So now you're trying to kind of do something, and you realize, okay, I cannot move, I cannot use my body. Yes, I cannot use my body. And you realize you're paralyzed, because you realize why? Because you're still in a half awake state. So you're kind of awake, and even you open your eyes, you still, the part of the brain that is responsible for taking the information from the five senses is using the made up reality, using the database of memories of those five senses. So even you try to open your eyes, you try to listen, you would use something else, unless the stimuli are more powerful. Let's say someone is like right in front of your face or something, and yes, you might be able to switch to the real eyes or ears and stuff like that. And so while in a panic mode, because you cannot move, this part of the brain that generates the character is going to modify the character. So the character is going to become aggressive. It's like your brain created character becomes more violent. So the more you struggle, the more you try to fight it, the more violent it is. Because what happens, the brain gets into an angry state, and the creation of the brain is going to be an angry character. Yeah, so the more you struggle, the nastier the character is. And now let me finish this thing with another on the same thought. Some people get raped in the dreams. That's a nasty one. And when I was described, so I was told what's going on to one of the person I talked to. I started digging the internet, and I only found reports, but no explanation why some people get these rape dreams, which are very, very frightening. and can leave people with PTSD. It's like you can get a PTSD because your own brain. That's weird, right? But yeah, people get PTSD. It's like get raped in the dream, and for weeks and weeks they are like, what the heck? And they lose relationship because of that. And so what happens? There is a part of that's an explanation that now the one I give you now, I found it provided by someone on the YouTube, and I think it's a valid explanation. So a part of the brain that it's in charge with the sexual desire and thoughts and all that stuff, sexual drive, gets activated. So it's natural for people to get this thing activated during the night. Men have this automatic function to get them an erection and for checking health maintenance of the system, of the sexual system, and also if the sensory part of the uh, semen, let's call it tank, semen storage tank, let's call it like that. Uh, if it detects that it's full or it's has some pressure, it will cause wet dreams and all that stuff. So those are health checks automatically managed by the brain or other parts of the brain that happens during the night without the person control. And so women get uh, sexual desires and all that stuff from that sexual uh, part of the brain, men too. Um, it also related to the amount of sexual hormones in the body. So during the night, if the brain trigger those sexual feelings, it will trigger some sexual dreams. But if they happen during this state of like being paralyzed, not being able to move, when the entity is coming, and if the person is loaded with sexual uh, message, how to say, sexual desire during the sleep, that type of dream, like a made up dream, half reality, half dream, can become a rape. So lots of women reported on Quora and other type of forums reported that they get raped very often. And when you look at those reports, you look at who reported, you see it's like a 20, 30, maybe 40 years old woman. And is that because at that age the sexual desire is a little bit higher, and they drop in intensity or the frequency of the this night encounters or rape attacks with the age. So after a while, people get less and less of this type of rape experience because of the sexual drive. It's dropping, is much lower. So that's kind of an explanation for some of the explanation for the rape. So some people have a bad past experience with sexual partners, and also they can manifest into the same dream as a it's a mechanism of the brain that generates those dreams, the made up dreams, using some sort of a bad memories. That's kind of the observation some people noticed or made. So that's my kind of idea. I just added my own perspective, including this fabricated reality based on the sensory memory that is being used by the brain. Is like having a virtual machine inside of your own computer. So the virtual machine can work independently from the main computer. So the main computer can be going to sleep or into kind of a hibernation or relaxed state, not doing much, but the virtual machine can wake up and do a separate task independently from the main machine. So virtual machine inside of your computer can work independently and can create own reality, can you can load AI programs and stuff like that that can run independently, or the viruses. So you can have a virus working independently into your own machine, doing your own thing. A virus that can actually think, like an intelligent virus that can do damage, can do stuff. So again, people can get PTSD from their own dreams. So how to fix it? So it was reported that people who are lacking of sleep report higher number of events like that. And what happens? People who suffer of depression have also higher events like that. And what you do? So if a person suffers of depression, anxiety, likely the person cannot have good rest, good night's sleep. And the person is staying up late, watching TV, watching stuff, or reading stuff to fill up the time and feel good instead of going to bed. Because going to bed is kind of a chore, is like getting anxiety, getting stupid thoughts and stuff like that. So person rather finds the dopamine from other activities, and this person is staying up late and is lacking of sleep, and is the amount of less hour, I mean, it's building up, so people are depriving themselves of sleep, and when they go to sleep they have this state, this state of a transition state when they start having these dreams, and because of lack of sleep, and then compounding with anxiety and maybe panic attacks and depressive thoughts, all these things combined together can lead to this very, very frightening or unpleasant experiences. So if it does help, subscribe if you like, it's up to you. But on my channel you will see mostly adventures, or maybe travel and stuff like that. So I have another channel that's related to healing and energy work and spiritual stuff, and some Bible study a little bit. Talk to you later. Bye bye.